The world after the flood. After the great flood had reshaped the earth and Noah's descendants began to repopulate the world, humanity entered a new chapter, a time of unity, a time of shared purpose, and a time when all people spoke one language and used one common speech, as recorded in Genesis 11:1. Visuals. Crowds of early humans walking across open plains, building tents, farming, children playing, families gathering around fires. The earth was healing. Rivers were flowing again, fields were blossoming, and the descendants of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth multiplied across the land. With their shared language came shared ideas, shared dreams, shared ambitions. And as they journeyed east, they found a beautiful, wide plain in the land of Shinar, a region many associate with ancient Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization. The settling of Shinar. The land of Shinar was rich, perfect for settlement. It had water from vast rivers, fertile soil, and wide space to grow into a mighty civilization. And so the people said, "Let us settle here." People begin constructing early homes made of mud and straw. With unity came progress. With progress came ambition. And with ambition came a desire, an idea so bold, so powerful, that it would change the course of human history forever. The birth of a grand idea. Workers making bricks under a hot sun. Clay, water, straw, kilns glowing with fire. In the land of Shinar, something extraordinary happened. The people discovered a new technology, a breakthrough. They learned how to make bricks not just dried by the sun, but baked in fiery furnaces until they were strong and durable. As they said, "Come, let us make bricks and bake them thoroughly." Genesis 11:3. Close-up of brick stacking, hands working, buckets of tar. They used brick instead of stone, and bitumen, tar, as mortar. This discovery allowed them to dream bigger than ever before. And so came the idea. Let us build a tower to the heavens. One day, the leaders and builders gathered the people and declared, "Come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower with its top in the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves and not be scattered over the face of the whole earth." Genesis 11:4. A massive architectural drawing in the sand, stakes hammered into the ground. Workers measuring, digging, planning. This was not simply a construction project. This was a mission, a symbol, a declaration of human unity and power. The tower begins rising layer by layer. The Tower of Babel was envisioned as a stairway to the heavens, a monument that could reach the very dwelling place of God, a structure so tall it would pierce the clouds, a city so strong that no people would ever need to separate again. Human pride, human unity. Day and night the people labored. Men carried bricks on their backs. Women prepared food for the workers. Children fetched water. Every person played a part. This was humanity at its most united. One purpose, one language, one ambition. But beneath this unity was something dangerous. Pride. A desire to make a name for themselves. What began as a dream of unity became a monument to human glory, a symbol of independence, apart from God. God descends to see the city. As the tower rose, piercing the clouds, something profound happened. The Lord himself came down to observe the city and the tower the people were building. Genesis 11:5. Heavenly light shines from above. God saw what human beings could accomplish when united in pride. And he knew that if they continued this way, relying on their own strength and seeking their own greatness, nothing would restrain them from pushing further into rebellion. The divine decision. The heavens rumble. A deep, echoing sound fills the air. And the Lord said, "Behold, they are one people, and they all have one language. This is only the beginning of what they will do. Nothing they propose will be impossible for them." Genesis 11:6. The earth trembles. Then God made a powerful and mysterious decision. Come, let us go down and confuse their language, so they will not understand one another. Genesis 11:7. The confusion of languages. Workers suddenly dropping tools, arguing, shouting in different tongues. Within seconds, everything changed. Words once shared by all were suddenly fragmented. Speech became tangled, unfamiliar, twisted. A man asks for water but receives bricks. Another asks for rope but gets clay. Confusion spreads like wildfire. People could no longer communicate. Friends became strangers. Leaders could no longer instruct workers. Teams fell apart. And the great project, the tower, came to a standstill. Workers push each other, frustrated. The once united crowd breaks into chaotic clusters. What human pride, built through unity, was undone by the power of God in a single moment. The scattering of the nations. Montage of groups packing their tents, families travelling in different directions. And so the Lord scattered them across the face of the earth. Genesis 11:8. From Shinar to Africa, from Shinar to Europe, from Shinar to Asia, from Shinar to the islands of the world. People migrating across mountains, deserts, and oceans. Their languages were different. Their customs changed. Their cultures formed. Nations began. Tribes were born. The diversity of the earth was shaped. And the city was left unfinished, its grand dream broken. The narrator pauses as the tower crumbles slightly under time. The place became known as Babel, from the Hebrew word meaning confusion, because there the Lord confused the language of the entire world, and from there scattered them over all the earth. Genesis 11:9. The Tower of Babel is more than an ancient story. It is a message for every generation. Modern cities, skyscrapers, diverse cultures, people speaking different languages. It teaches us that unity is powerful, but without humility, unity can lead to pride, and pride can lead to downfall. The people united under one language, but their purpose was to rise above God, to make a name for themselves. Yet God does not oppose unity. He opposes arrogance. He desires that humanity works together under His guidance, not in defiance of Him. A Bible gently opens to Acts 2. Centuries later, at Pentecost in Acts 2, God once again touched human language. But this time, instead of confusing people, He brought understanding, unity, and the birth of the Church. The ending message. Sunset over the ancient plain of Shinar. The Tower of Babel stands as a reminder of human ambition, divine wisdom, and the power of language. It is a story of beginnings. The beginning of nations, the beginning of cultures, the beginning of the world as we know it. Though the tower crumbled, the lesson remains. When humanity builds without God, the foundation cannot stand. And so the story of Babel lives forever in Genesis 11:1-9, a powerful chapter in the grand tapestry of the Bible.